Welcome back to the Red River Horror Podcast. This is episode number 67. I am your host, Joe Zakreski, joined by RedRiverHorror.com founder Eddie Cayazzo. Hi, Ed. How are you?
Joe, it's great to be back in the saddle again. And I was going to sing, but actually I don't feel like it right now.
Well, that's okay, brother. I mean, here we are. We finally are able to get together, and we got some things to talk about. And specifically, I feel better having taking some time off from this movie because it brought me a ton of frustration talking about it after watching it. Because as you know, the 2018 Halloween, I'm not the biggest fan of.
Sure.
So the sequel, Halloween Kills, I was also not the biggest fan of. And I have my reasons, but that's what we're going to talk about today.
We are. I think we gave it enough time to breathe. We wanted, like, even I realized, we took some time off. Congrats on the new house.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. No, I know we took some time off with the holidays and all, like pretty much ramping up life.
Just madness.
Life, liberty, and the pursuit of, more work. But our plan was initially to let this breathe a little bit before we went diving, into Halloween.
I think especially that neither one of us were going to. We didn't want to go into this and just like geek out over it.
Yes,
wanted to maintain our composure.
And I think we did.
I think so too. And
well, the biggest thing is not to, like, when you and I first saw this. So you saw it the week it came out. I saw it the week after it came out, and we were both ready to torch. Like, we were both ready to light like a serious fire. And it's like, okay,
yeah. So like my thing, you got delayed. Watching it, and it was driving me crazy because I was talking a lot with Different Takes Joe D'Angelo and being in that Killer Flicks group on Facebook, and just how like controversial this movie was. And I'm just like, you like 2018 a lot, and that's why I was really curious what you were going to think, because I watched it and was just like, Ed's going to hate this. I mean,
which again, we must be getting more simpatico as we get older, because it used to be the exact opposite. Yes, I will tell you that scene where we first see Michael in the fire, and then he gets out of the fire. Now let me preface this. That if you've been a long time listener of the podcast, you know that when we spoke to Different Takes Joe D a long time ago, I didn't know this was going to be a trilogy. Okay,
right.
That's just not, I don't dive that deep. I didn't know. So okay, now it's going to be a trilogy, whatever. So when we got to that scene, with the first time we see Michael like that, I'm like, okay. I'm like, this is pretty wicked. Like, it seems like what Rob Zombie had said about Halloween 2 going into it, where it's just like, slasher movies now, people are laughing. They think it's funny.
Yeah.
I didn't think Michael Myers killing a bunch of firefighters was funny. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is bad. This is scary.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point.
Scary visual.
Yeah.
After that...
yeah, he's just so... But it's like, that whole thing, it's like, it looks cool, but it's like, his... 1 and a half hands.
Right.
Obviously doesn't need to breathe because, being engulfed in fire. I mean, fire, like, it just would suck the oxygen out of there. Those types of things always get to me. Because I'm like, come on, we can do better than that. I feel like something could have been better to carry on rather than he's trapped in the basement. I mean, the Haddonfield Fire Department gets there super fast.
True. If she's in such a remote location, would that house have been a pile of ash by the time a fire department was able to reach it?
And then they're able to get there, and then they get there, they all get killed. So, I mean, like, in the cinematic way, looks incredible.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Again, it goes back to this thing where that's something that would happen if it was. It seems like something that would happen in a Friday the 13th movie, not a Halloween movie.
Okay.
And the other thing where it's like it doesn't really seem to matter to a lot of people who are fans of the Halloween franchise, because they're more like, well, now Michael has more kills than Jason.
Oh, they see it from the slasher.
From the slasher, yeah.
See, I understand the people that are like that, but I'm with you in, so you like Michael Myers more so than Freddy or Jason because of the sometimes like the humanity of it. Sometimes the stalking. Yeah.
The not being strong, but not like I'm going to defeat all these grown men with the greatest of ease.
Right. So that I can see. So this Halloween Kills was a removal of the character a bit.
I felt that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So because we have to. I just want to say with these movies that we love, we do have to suspend reality while we're in them.
You do. I mean, you really do. I don't know why. It's just this current trilogy. It doesn't click with me. The 40 years really is just like he's in his later 60s.
Yes.
Come on.
Right. Well,
like, what is he doing? He's just, or it's like he's pure evil or whatever. But it's like, but at this point in his age, like, if he's not doing something to keep in some sort of shape, he's not doing this.
All right.
So it's like, again, suspend reality.
Remember Paulie from The Sopranos?
Yeah, but Paulie was out and doing things.
Right.
Like, he's got
Michael Myers eats dogs and rats and stays in, like, sleeps.
Yeah, like he's just standing there. He's like catatonic.
Right.
So, whatever. I mean, that's supposed to scare you. Yeah, that's the boogeyman. Whatever. So no, that makes sense. So some of the humanity from Michael's taken away. The kill count is way high, which they said it was going to be high, and then to some people it's like, all right, now series wide, Michael has more kills than Jason. It's like, okay, not important to me. I will tell you that I guess we should just keep moving along the film. So for me, when I saw that scene with the firefighters and everything, I'm like, okay, this is going to be good. The throwback scenes, they looked good. Yeah, I mean, at first I didn't realize that it was like going back to 78 until I'm like, wait a minute, like, which also I feel takes away from the original one, tying into this story. It's like, did he kill again? It's like everything sounded really good.
Right.
It looked really good, but like that kill that he has with the two cops is not, kind of uncharacteristic compared to the original movie. That being said, it's like, obviously I'm going to be saying critical things about it, and the biggest pain in the ass when like talking about this movie, it's just been other than you, everyone else I've had this talk with, it always just goes to like, what about Halloween 5? What about H2O? What about, it's just like, can we just focus? It's like, let's just talk about this movie in particular, and then we can compare and contrast at any other point.
Right.
I gave Halloween 4 a second chance. Like 4 and 5, I was just like, good, I could live without ever watching them again.
Sure.
But you know what? 4 is kind of a fun ride.
4's not bad.
It's a fun ride.
It's gained favor over the years. Honestly, it was kind of Dr. Halloween last year when he was talking about the themes and the tone and like how it felt. It's just like, you know what? Yeah, that does stand for something. That does count for something when I'm making, because I feel like it's incumbent upon us to make a new Halloween in order list every time there's a new movie out. We should totally do that.
Yeah.
And 4 has climbed I went from being like, wow, this movie sucks, The Mask looks stupid, to I kind of want to watch this every October. Yeah. I mean, it has like what Dr. Halloween said, where it's just those Halloween vibes. Yeah. That's the first thing I got out of it. And it's like, at least if you want me to say something positive about 2018 and Kills, like this new trilogy, it does have that. Okay. I think so. I think 2018 definitely 2018 more so than this one, because this is just the follow-up. The best comparison I heard for Halloween Kills out of somebody that one, Stacy's review. Yeah. Absolutely
perfect. You got to go if you're curious about that. I'm not going to give anything away. You go on to redriverhorror.com and read it, because after reading her review, I was just like, yeah, that's it. That's it. Perfect. And then the other one that I heard was comparing this to the most recent Star Wars trilogy, where it's like the first one's like, oh, okay, all right, got something new, something fresh. And then this one, a lot happens, but nothing really happens.
I agree 100% with that.
Like
that's a great point. There is nothing there. We can we'll move through this film from the fire to the throwback scenes as we move through the film. No, really, Laurie. Okay, we catch up with Laurie. She's in the hospital, and it's like, I gotta do this. I gotta get out. It's like, oh no, you can't. Mm-hmm. Sorry. So she's laid up. I mean, we'll get to the new characters in a sec, but all the characters that come back really aren't relevant anymore.
No, not at all.
Like
in The Last Jedi.
Yes. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. I mean, just put me back on track if I start drifting away.
No.
But like, it's just one of those things where it's like, I call, we're talking about like how powerful Michael is in these ones. Mm-hmm. Laurie handles them with a pan.
Yes.
And just absolutely devastates him. He can't even see straight anymore. Like,
no.
That's where it's like when I say it's a superhero movie. Joe kept getting confused, saying I was talking about Michael being. I'm like, no, Laurie is. I thought for a second there. So she gets she's stabbed in the abdomen.
Yes.
She has abdominal surgery.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a part in there where it seems like she's about to jump out of bed and go chasing after him within an hour of waking up from surgery.
So that is something I wanted to, because I knew you and Joe were talking about that a lot and the superhero part of it. So I have a different feeling. I want to see if we're on the same page with this. So I guess we will skip ahead a bit.
Sure.
So you have the fire, you have the flashbacks, you have Laurie in the hospital, and this is all the same night. What do you mean when you say it's a superhero film, and do you include Halloween 2018 in that?
Yeah, I think it's the Laurie Strode superhero trilogy.
Okay, so then she essentially would be Iron Man.
Yeah, and that's, dude, I mean, this entire movie, I just, like, as soon as that happened, I don't want to get too far ahead, just when they were doing all the throwback characters, it's just like, oh, the Avengers are about to assemble.
Right.
Yeah. And I was like, here we go. So we'll get into that in just a second. So like we cover that. Back to the flashback scenes real quick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Great idea.
It was.
Great idea. I mean, I can say that and it looks great.
When I realized what they were doing, I was just like, okay, let's see this out. I like it.
Yeah. But then it's also after that comes after the fire, right?
I'm trying to remember now. I can't remember if we start at the fire and them getting driven away, or if we start in 1978.
Oh boy, I got to look that up because I think we need to get this straight, because it would really make less sense if it's the opening scene and then he's just standing there surrounded by the cops and just surrenders.
Oh.
And then the scene before that's him standing around a bunch of firefighters and just absolutely destroying them. If the cops came first, then that's cooler.
Mm-hmm.
But if they didn't, that's dumb.
Yeah.
Or it's either way, but
I think what happens
I think that's what they're going for.
Well, you can, while you're looking that up, I think what happens is we open with Lonnie's kid walking, and he catches up to Will Patton, Officer Hawkins, and I think at that point we think like Officer Hawkins obviously was taken down by Sartan in the first one in 2018 with the knife, so he's losing blood. And I think he goes like, does he flash back to that night? And that's then when we're in 1978.
I think so.
And that's before the fire. I'm gonna say it was before the fire. Maybe we gave too much time in between.
We might have. Maybe we should have given it another watch. But I mean,
we needed to calm down.
We needed to calm down because it was just getting way too heated amongst conversations with friends, and
Yes.
that's not. I don't ever want to get angry about talking about movies.
I can dig that.
Like,
Yeah.
No. Like that's not what I ever want to do.
Okay.
All right, so let's say we need.
So I'm going to say Lonnie's kid walks up, catches up to Hawkins, who's bleeding out, and we go back to 1978. Let's see if I'm right. Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah. Oh, man. So, Halloween Kills. Where we start? On October 3rd. Yeah, so it opens up in 78. Hawkins
Okay.
accidentally shoots his partner dead while trying to save him from Michael Myers. Yep. So,
All right.
it was a good scene, but it was just so... It didn't fit the original.
Yeah, like it.
Like, if you played it after... If you did a cut and then threw it in there, it would just be really off.
Yeah.
It'd be like he's holding him, like threatening him, not just killing him.
Right. And two, that was a very awkward. Like for me, again, I like Halloween 2018. For as well done as some of the stuff was in 2018 to me,
Yeah.
that was a very awkward scene. It's just like, wait a minute, that's why you're so effed up from 70. It's just like this shook out it was so wonky. Like it was a weird. It was just weird.
It was very weird.
Yeah.
I mean, so it's just, tough task to build a trilogy off of something from 1978 without even.
Right.
They're starting their own timeline from there.
Yes.
So, yeah, as parts that I don't like about it were, good ideas, just not the right execution, I guess. Just not for my taste.
Yeah.
Especially like this one, what I say, it had like the American Horror Story type feel to it, like very Ryan Murphy type characters.
Yeah. So well, I just want to finish up that point that you
So just bring me back in.
No.
I'll jump around.
Because you said something very important. Nothing happened in this one. Nothing happened in Halloween Kills, and I will bring it around to where I will tell you where I think it's a superhero film, because when you said that, I didn't quite understand it, and then when we got to the end, I'm like, oh yeah,
Laurie's soup. She's charging up.
So by the time we got there, I'm just like, I know exactly what Joe means, or at least I thought I did at that time. Mm-hmm. So yeah, we get to we do meet the older characters. Anthony Michael Hall has his moment in the bar where he gets everybody up and introduces all the old cast of characters. Marion Chambers, the nurse, Lindsay Wallace.
Yeah,
you got him. I'll get back to why that storyline really pissed me off a bit later. So Michael goes home. Michael gets back to the Myers house, and you're right. It's a gay couple, and this
Big
is
John and Little John,
right? And this is not to be taken any other way other than just as a part of the movie. It is very American Horror Story like in that it's just like, okay. The scene was completely useless in the movie. I guess that whole story was completely useless in the movie. Yeah,
there's just like the little quips thrown in there where I guess it was trying to be like comedic relief.
Yes.
Michael McDonald, and I forget the other actor's name, but he's good in other things I've seen him in. They're both like fine.
Oh, it wasn't them. Not their fault.
It was just very American Horror Story. So,
yes.
It's what, Hugh came home. I don't know. Or like how weird the prank that the kids did where it's like they snuck into their house. Like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah. Yes. Yes. No, that was... It was no, and that's, I think, the best way to put it in your point of nothing happening, right? Everything was awkward. Like, the whole movie, for me, save for the scene with the firefighters and him getting out of the house, the whole movie was awkward. The whole 78 thing, Hawkins and the guy wrestling with Michael and then him shooting his partner and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Just awkward and unnecessary. The gay guys in the Myers house or whatever, like that whole scene with the kids and the trick-or-treaters, completely unnecessary. And then some people argue it's like, well, that's how Lonnie and his dad. And it's like, no, it doesn't. Their characters in this movie, unnecessary. Like everything was so awkward. And maybe that's why. Maybe it's because they needed to fill out 2 hours or an hour and a half, and there's just no story to do. Maybe that's just it. There really isn't. There's no way to do it. There was no way to do it, so we got that.
Yeah, it seemed like I think this probably could have been done in 2 movies.
Yeah.
By the time we get there, because, the Big John, Little John thing, it's like, okay, whatever, they're trying to have a romantic evening or whatever it is they're doing. One's ready to have a romantic evening, the other's not. And then they both are kind of on the same. I can't even remember because, like, whatever. It's just like, what am I watching right now? It's like, who are you to this story? And then they're gone. Like, in and out. And it's like, that's fine. But it really didn't do much other than it's like they lived in his house.
Yeah.
And, like, you had to get him back to his house at some point. There you go. Mission accomplished. The other interesting thing in this that I found neat is, like, when you're talking about Tommy at, like, the bar and stuff, like, they show Michael's, like, mugshot.
They do.
In the bar. I thought that was an interesting idea at first. I was like, oh, wow. Like, because that's something that would happen. It's just like, it's like, yeah, okay. It's like, let these people know what he looks like so that they can chase down someone who's a foot shorter and looks nothing like him.
Right. You don't even want to get me started
on that.
No. You don't want to. No, because I know what. Again, it was awkward.
So awkward.
Like 78 and Hawkins and the dude and the shooting and the whole arrest thing. Yeah. Awkward. The Big John and Little John. Awkward. The hospital thing, like, you're trying to make me feel something. It's just like, this is not that movie. It's like, this movie is Michael killing a lot of people. Yeah. And these people are pissed off about it. I don't know if there were political undertones in the whole mob mentality and chasing him up and on the roof and all, but I didn't feel anything. It was awkward. It was unnecessary.
They're trying to capture that societal, like, meltdown that turns into, like, panic and riots.
Right.
And they did it really bad.
Yeah, I didn't feel that.
Because it's like, that's him. Clearly not him. You just saw his picture.
Right. You're right.
Everybody saw what he looked like.
I didn't think logically. Everyone was in the bar just like, oh, wait a minute. Yeah, this is the guy where,
That's him. He looks nothing like the guy on TV. Get him.
No, like, I feel bad for the guy, but it's, again, unnecessary and awkward.
Yeah.
Big spoiler alert. A major character dies. That whole scene is awkward.
Yeah.
One of the trio in your superhero story. Yeah, one of them gets it. One of them gets it. But that was awkward. There was nothing that just felt right.
No, it just was like a lot of fluff and action. Well made. Of course it is. I mean,
sure.
I wouldn't expect anything less, but
no.
Yeah, I mean, it just didn't make sense. And then I'm only going to say it once because maybe I'll say it a couple times, but I mean, coming out of that, I was just like, if you say evil dies tonight 130 times into a mirror, you watch the entire movie Halloween Kills.
Right.
Like, it's like, you think that it's like, they're all getting evil dies tonight.
Yeah.
And it's like this build up where it's like, it's not going anywhere.
No.
It's like, this is round 2 of a 3.
And well, I guess to pull back and say there was something else I appreciated about Halloween Kills. Mm-hmm. So if it was that firefighter scene that I liked, I appreciated, no, I didn't appreciate in the way this is going to sound, but the old couple that got killed, right?
Yeah, that's sad.
That's sad. But it's the first time, I think, and I'm sure people in killer flicks can correct me.
Yeah.
It's the first time I think we actually see Michael, I don't want to say goofing around, but we always find these people in different positions. Like they pop out from the ceiling, or he has Judith on the bed and the headstone's there in the first one.
Yeah.
So like, you kind of remember what Daniel Farrens was saying, how he's like a trickster, and he was trying to give him that character in Halloween 6. Like, he wanted, I mean, of course they didn't do that at all with him, but he wanted that. He's just like, no, remember, Michael's like a trickster. Like, he would turn the TV on and the dad comes in and turns it off. What the hell is this? And then come back in the room and say, oh, who turned this back on? Like, he would do something like that.
Yeah.
We saw Michael, I don't know if he thought he killed the woman But then we cut from her point of view. She just had a light ram through her throat. She's still breathing. And we see him sitting there pulling out the knives and stabbing the dude over, like kind of putting the knives in his back. It's like, okay, I don't think we've ever seen Michael do that trickster type stuff that he was known for.
No.
So yeah. I appreciated that as the character of Michael Myers. That's probably the scariest to me. That's one of his traits that scares me, and we got to see it.
Yeah. And in these newer ones, he really sets stages his kills.
Yeah.
It's like, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, right, if that's what you're going to do.
So
the dang hospital.
But then the hospital scene, awkward.
Yeah.
Well, the guy. Okay, yeah. So I guess we get to Laurie in the hospital. But first, this is a major spoiler alert.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you what I thought was the absolute dumbest thing of Halloween Kills. I get that it's in the title, but everybody they brought back dies.
Yeah.
So like all the Tommy Doyle, Lindsay Wallace, the nurse.
Yeah.
It's like, you mean to tell me all this hype around bringing these characters back, and it's like, oh, and even freaking Sheriff Brackett.
Yeah. I mean, it's almost like it would have been better. Like, I'm surprised that it's like, why not keep Tommy for the third one?
Right. In Star Wars fashion, you get through this movie where maybe a significant person dies, and a significant person did die.
Yeah.
But I'm saying if you're adding these old characters back from 78, then one of those people dies in this ultimate fight against evil, right?
Yeah.
Like so this movie was the fight. It's just like there was no build up, so that like actually Star Wars I think is the perfect way to put it. You have A New Hope, right?
Mm-hmm.
The good guys win. Then you have The Empire Strikes Back. It's like, well,
the bad guys win.
The bad guys win. And then you have this culmination in Return of the Jedi where some people that we love are now lost. They've been lost in this war to ultimately defeat evil. That if you're doing a trilogy, then okay, I can see that. But no, they killed off all the people they brought back.
Yeah. But and when the mob finally catches up to him and gives him that royal beatdown, my favorite thing in the movie's right there. And there's one lady in the back, and I'm glad so many other people noticed it, like I did. It's like they all have bats, guns, axe, everything you can get. And one woman just has an iron, a clothes iron.
Right.
Just in her hand. It's like, so she's been given nicknames such as the Iron Maiden of Haddonfield.
Okay.
And I joined a group that's called That One Lady Who Brought an Iron to Fight Michael Myers. And the actress who was the extra in that scene is an active member on there. And they made her an admin, and there's a petition to get her back.
Oh, nice.
The third one.
So saying she survives, because we will get to the conclusion of this pretty quickly. We can wrap this up because I know we've honestly,
there's no reason for us to just trash it the whole time. I mean,
no, we've spent enough time. But I thought my favorite. So you like the woman with the toaster or the iron?
The iron,
right? The wife of the group that they have kind of rounded up that's traveling in the car. Was it the doctor and his wife?
Yeah.
The gun kill, like, so she goes to bring the gun to shoot Michael Myers. He hits her with the door, and the gun turns on her and shoots. I mean, that was good. That was pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, it was a lot of action.
Yeah,
you're gonna get a lot of action. There's a lot of killing. It's in the title.
But then we get to the boss fight, and man, I'm sure you were thinking, like, I could see you watching Halloween Kills, and we get to the final fight between Michael and Haddonfield. Take away the lady with the iron. He's literally beating up everybody
after getting stabbed.
Yes.
Clubbed repeatedly.
Yes.
Shot even.
Yeah.
Whatever.
That fight, that brawl or whatever. That was so dumb.
It was almost like watching a WWE match where he's just getting like destroyed and it's just down on the ground and then just raises a head, like
Right. He's the Undertaker.
yeah, basically it just rise right up. Or who had my favorite one where it was like they were hitting him and then he would get powered? Was that Ultimate Warrior or
they'd hit him and he'd start
charging up?
I think they all did, but Warrior was the one. Didn't he grab the ropes and start shaking?
Yeah.
That was Michael.
That's what it seemed like. I don't whatever. This one is not for me. I'm not even like I'm done arguing about it because every time I try and like want to talk about the movie, I just want to talk about that movie. I don't want to talk about the other movies in the franchise.
Yes.
It's like let's focus. And it's an immediate, and it's not just with our pal Joe. It's with some other people I've talked about. Where it's just like, yeah, but what about the? Let's just stay on task, and we'll address those at a different time.
All right, so then let's address that then for a minute.
Yeah.
This movie affirms that my favorite trilogy is 1, 2, and H2O.
Yeah, it makes the most sense.
Yes.
And when I say that in a way where it's like, it doesn't have to be, you don't have to be like Oscar-winning movies. It's just a storyline that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's all. That's my point. It's just like, oh my God, but The Mask. It's like, I'm not even talking about The Mask.
Yeah.
I'm just talking about, in theory, if I told you this story, it's the one that's just like, oh, okay.
Yep.
You know, none of the other aspects of it other than this timeline vibes. But now a lot of people are like, I always thought Lori being a sister was stupid. Like, shut up. Nobody said that.
No, yeah. Whereas, you're right, there's like a retro...
Yeah.
Like people are, what do they call that? Retcon?
Yeah.
People are retconning their feelings on the sister storyline. It's like, stop.
It's everywhere. And I'm glad, at least on like Reddit, I see people calling out being like, bullshit. It's like, bullshit, because unless you were alive and like saw the first one, 78, and then 2 in 81.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Unless you were around and saw both of those like that, like, as you know, either like a older teen in your older teens or 20s or whatever, it's like then you might say something like that. But if you're our age, where you saw these movies at a young age, you did not think about that at all.
Nope.
You never paid it any mind.
It wasn't a concern. Like, it wasn't something I was like, oh.
You genuinely thought that like by the time you rewatched the first Halloween, you didn't even think about that. You're just like, oh yeah, well it's his sister.
Yep. And it's the internet that told me that John Carpenter ultimately didn't like that, even though he wrote it. Like, he's like, I thought that was stupid. Like, it's the internet that told me that. I never gave it a second thought. Yeah.
And he's not the right writer director to like take quotes from, because he just speaks very off the cuff, whatever. You're gonna hear what's on his mind when you ask it, and it's gonna change every time you ask him.
If I'll have to find that 2014 Wizard World, where I asked him about Rob Zombie calling him up. I said, hey, it was rumored that Rob Zombie called you before he was going to make the Halloween remake, and then he not really answered the question. He's like, yeah, he called me. He's just like, but let me tell you something. You know, there's two kinds of sequels. There's one where they hand me a check, and then there's one where they don't hand me a check. The sequels where they hand me a check are the good sequels.
There you go.
The sequels where they don't hand me a check. So like, yes, he just speaks. Yeah, I'm sure if it was like a meet the press thing, you could, well, back on this date you said this, back on this date you said that. Just like, I don't give a shit.
John, he doesn't seem like it, and it's like the way we talk about it, where it's like John Carpenter's Halloween. It's like we try and talk about it like it's his baby. He does not give a shit about that like. He's making his paycheck, but he's made some great movies that are better than Halloween. No offense to anybody who loves Halloween, but it's like Escape from New York is so fucking awesome. Like,
it's a good movie.
Different genres, you know? Like,
sure. No, I love that movie.
You know, his remake of The Thing.
Yeah.
You know. I mean, vampires. Yep. He's got a bunch. I'm not even going to start listing them.
No.
Prince of Dark, you know.
He's got a great catalog. I will disagree and say that I think Halloween is his
best
masterpiece. I mean, yes, along with The Thing and all of his other movies under that. But this 1, 2, and H2O is it. And no other, like, I haven't been able to be convinced otherwise. It's like that's the, if someone asks you that they want to just like, hey, I don't have time to watch all 11, all 12 films. It's like, what could I watch, like, over the next couple weeks during the Halloween season? Well,
give it a shot. Try it out. You know, and then I have to repeat myself every time we talk about Halloween, where it's, I wish the anthology thing worked out.
Yeah.
At least for like one more after 3. Mm-hmm. But those are the breaks.
Yeah.
Those are the breaks. And
So just to wrap this up for me, from my side of it, Halloween Kills, the superhero thing, where I thought that came into play was, yes, at the very end, the last cuts of the last scenes of the movie, Michael's done beating up the town, killing everybody, and he stands up, and there's his face, and then it cuts to Laurie in the hospital's face, and then it cuts to black in the credits. It's just like, really? Is this Godzilla vs. Kong in October?
Yes.
Like,
it's exactly what it is.
Like,
yes.
So that's where I'm just like, okay, Joe, the superhero thing makes sense. When they did that, I'm like, this is ridiculous.
Yes, it is.
And everyone in the room, I'll tell you, there were 5 of us that watched it together for the first time, all had the same expressions on their face. They were like, what?
Yeah. It sets it up, and then I think the third one, there will be a time jump.
Okay.
I don't think it's still, because, like, she just had surgery.
Yes.
So we'll follow up with that as we go. But hey, for now, let's call it a day on episode 67, because it would be unfair of us to just keep trashing this, and we're not really trashing. I don't want to trash it.
No, I think we're talking about the aspects of it that we didn't like. I gave 2 that I did like. See?
Yeah. Where would you give it, Canoes?
Oh, that's a tough question.
Yeah, let's finish with some Canoes. Do you want me to give you Stacy's Canoes as a guide?
I think I remember them, but go ahead.
Sure.
Hers were 3, right?
Drop the bomb. Where'd it go?
2, 3,
at the bottom.
4, 5. And remember,
she did a 3 out of 5.
She did a 3 out of 5. Okay. Now remember, Halloween 2018 is the only film on RedRiverHorror.com that has a 5 out of 5 from Stacy, the movie critic. So she gave it a 3 out of 5. I will say, did I not like it as much? The devil made me do it. Where we sit in episode 67, this could move at some point in time.
Yep.
We're going to go 2 out of 5.
Same here. Still 2 out of 5. I'm not going to give it 1 out of 5. Just because I don't like it doesn't mean I don't appreciate the work that's involved in it. Everything, there's a lot of good, all the technical aspects are good. And as you would expect from the studio that put it together, when you have like Blumhouse putting a bunch of money behind it, it's got some big backers. And we'll just agree this is the final line that Stacy drops in her review, and that's here's hoping that Halloween Ends makes up for the otherwise lacking storylines here, referring to Halloween Kills, because it is lacking storylines, lacking
very much
a lot.
So.
But hey, you know what to do. You can find me on Twitter at Red River Joe. Eddie, they can find you
Red River Horror at Red River Horror, redriverhorror@gmail.com. Go to the website redriverhorror.com. We'll be more optimistic next time, Joe. Have a good one, man.
I think so. Thanks, Ed. This has been episode number 67 of the Red River Horror Podcast. And remember, kids, to keep traveling those channels of fear.